Hi everybody, it's Leanne here. I'm going to talk through the homework for this week. There's a bunch of it. So I'm talking about the division chapter, section 4 and section 5 homework. The reason that we are kind of ramping things up a little bit is because we want to spend the second half of the semester really focused on proportional reasoning. So using what we've done with multiplication, with fractions, and now with division, and then applying that to our proportional reasoning understanding. So that's what we're doing, and we get right into it in this section because we're looking at double number lines, which is such a great tool for proportional reasoning. All right, so in section 4, we had to do 4, 7, 9, 11, 12, and 13. So I'm going to read each problem and then go through. I apologize in advance for this video being really long. I have a feeling it will be. All right, number 4. So in number 4, you had to write a how many groups word problem for 4 divided by 2/3 and then solve it with some sort of a math drawing. And so what I wrote here is that a recipe, so you're going to notice most of my examples are cooking because I love to cook. So a recipe calls for 2/3 cups of oil. How many batches of the recipe can I make with 4 cups of oil? You'll see here that I made a double number line. And so when you make a double number line, make sure that you are always labeling which line is what. So I've got my cups and my batches. And then always make sure that you start with 0 and that you're attaching the values that go together. So in this case, I'm attaching 2/3 with 1 because with 2/3 of a cup of oil, I can make 1 cup. And then I think, all right, let's half both of those. So if I half that, I get 1/3 then is equal to 1/2 batches, right? So with 1/3 of a cup of oil, I can make a half a batch. And then if I can just keep moving on my double number line. So then my next tick mark here, my next interval would be 1 with 1 cup of oil. Then I can make 3 halves batches or 1.5 batches. And now I can simply multiply by 4 to get my 4 batches. 1 times 4 is 4 and 1.5 times 4 is 6. All right, number 7. Marvin has 11 yards of cloth to make costumes for a play, and each costume requires 1.5 yards of cloth. So that's an important piece. You have to solve the problem here, figuring out how many costumes he can make and then how much cloth will be left over. And then figuring out what is 11 divided by 1.5, and then of course comparing your answers, which should be the same. But I would also encourage you guys to always make a math drawing. So if you didn't, you might consider doing that because this is what's going to be really helpful for your students. Anytime you can make a visual representation of what you're talking about, it helps tremendously. Kids are very visual learners, especially in the early years. So he can make 7 costumes. That's probably what you figured out. 7 costumes with a half a yard of cloth left over. So let's look at the diagram so you can see what we're doing here. Essentially, we're counting equal size groups where one group is 1.5 yards. And you can see the way I colored it so that I could color my 3 halves. So I could see that there are 7 different colors or 7 costumes. And then I end up with this half of a yard left over. But that half of a yard is not half of a costume because a costume takes 1.5 yards or 3 halves. That half of a yard is only 1/3 of a costume. And having a diagram like this will really help you to explain that to kids. That's going to be the problem right there, is interpreting that half of a yard left over. What is that? I would expect my students in doing a problem like this, and I have 6th graders right now, and they would absolutely, I would have about half of them say that the answer is 7.5 costumes, and about the other half would say 7 1/3. And we can have this really healthy discussion about what it is, leaning on this drawing and making sure that we really understand what we're talking about in terms of the unit and what the whole is in this problem is going to help a lot. So when we use our standard algorithm and invert and multiply, we can see that our answer is going to be 7 1/3, but let's think about why. Remember, in this division problem, it tells us how many costumes can be made. We know it's 7 1/3, but remember, a costume is 3 halves, and a half of a yard of cloth consists then of 1/3 of a costume. So that's going to really be an important part of the understanding. All right, number 9. Number 9, here we go. It's in this top one. there it is. Write a how many groups word problem for 2 divided by 3/4, and then solve it with a math drawing or a double number line, which could be considered a math drawing as well. So in number 9, I just made what I think is just a simple math drawing to hopefully interpret those extra pieces. So the answer is 2 2/3. So what we have is we have 2 full 3/4, and I've shaded those with the light blue here. And then we have 2 extra parts. Why don't I make those red? Those 2 extra parts are each a third of another whole 3/4. So if our whole is our 3/4, then each of these is a third of that. And so the 2 unshaded pieces, or the 2 red pieces now, represent an additional 2/3 of the 3/4. And then if we invert and multiply, we can see that that is in fact true. We've got our 2 wholes, 2 divided by 3/4. We have 2 3/4, because again, we're asking how many 3/4 do we have in 2 full wholes. We have 2 full 3/4, and then we have 2/3 of another. Again, this is a great example of using a drawing to help understand what the fractional part of the answer means. It's going to be really important for students to be able to make sense of that. The whole numbers, not so hard for them. The fractional part, to be able to visualize and really make sense of that, it's huge. All right, number 11 from section 4. I feel like it's up here. Yeah, it is. All right, write a how many groups word problem for a half divided by 2/3. And again, we're going to solve it with a math drawing of some kind. And so what I did here is, well, first I put the answers 3/4, and then I wrote out a half divided by 2/3. This means, so it's really important to pause and say, what does this mean? It means how many groups of 2/3 are in a half. The reason this is a hard one to think through and visualize is because, of course, 2/3 is bigger than a half. So it's not even going to be a whole piece. And so when you make a drawing, so I used a strip diagram this time, I'm indicating, of course, the whole strip is the whole, but I'm indicating that this chunk right here is the 2/3 of the whole, and then that divided or partitioned into 4 pieces means that each of these are a fourth of the 2/3, and so 3/4 of the 2/3 is what I have colored in right here. All right, so when you put your drawing like this into sixths, then a half of the unit becomes, it has 3 parts, but you need 4 parts to make that full 2/3. And so each part is just a fourth, and you need 3 of them then. So that's where we come up with our 3/4. How many 2/3 are in a half? Well, 3/4 of a 2/3 of a 2/3 is in a half. Definitely confusing, but hopefully the drawing will help reinforce that. All right, number 12, you had to write a problem, and that's not it, but up here it is it. You have to write a problem for 1/3 divided by a half, and of course solve it using a math drawing, and then take a look at what we did. So I wrote a problem with a 5K. So I'm saying there's a 5K run, and for every half mile you go, you earn 1 box of food for the food bank. And so the question then is, if you walk a third, how many boxes have you earned? So that's a problem for a third divided by a half. So in my strip diagram, I show the 1/2 of a mile, and then I take my 1/2 of a mile and I partition it into thirds so that I can show 2/3 of that half. So I can see that in this case, my 2/3 of my half shows me that I've earned 2/3 of a box so far, because for every half mile you earn a box. You could also think of this as what fraction of 3/6, because I partition it into sixths. So you could think of it as what fraction of 3/6 of a mile are in 2/6, or in other words, that would be 2/6 divided by 3/6. And of course, you're still going to get the same answer of 2/3. All right, number 13. This isn't the right 213. Yes, it is. Okay. by rewriting the division problem, 18/33 divided by 9/11 as a multiplication problem with an unknown factor. Explain why it's valid to divide the fractions in this way. And then we're going to come up with another example. So hopefully this one didn't confuse you too much. It's kind of a weird problem. So I'm asking you to go to practice exercise number 4. You guys remember the practice exercises in your Pearson text are shaded yellow. They're like highlighted yellow, and they give you the problem and then they give you all the solutions. This problem is almost identical to practice exercise number 4. And so the author of the text is going to do a much better job than I will right now in describing that. And to save time, since we're already at 10 minutes, let's get going. So now we're going to jump to section 5. In section 5, we had to do 3, 6, 8, 9, and 15. So in number 3, it's another food one. How many units, or write how many units in one group word problem for 4 divided by 2/3, and use your problem and a math drawing to help explain why it makes sense to divide by invert and multiply. All right, so of course I write a food problem here. I said if 2/3 of a cup of flour makes 4 cookies, how many cookies can you make with 1 cup? So I made a double number line. I really like double number lines. This is something that's used a lot in 5th grade and 6th grade to really reinforce proportional understanding. So since 2/3 of a cup of flour goes with 4 cookies, so I'm going to circle like this right here is the given information. What I did here is I divided 2/3 in by 2 to get 1/3, and then I divided 4 by 2 to get 2, and then I could just multiply 1/3 times 3 to get 1, and then 2 times 3 to get 6, right? This is like inverting and multiplying. Let's see if I can erase some of that stuff that I just wrote. Because when we multiply 4 times a factor to get 6, we're going to multiply by 1.5, which is the same as multiplying by 3/2, which is the same as multiplying by 1/2 and then by 3, which is what we're doing when we invert and multiply. All right, let's go to number 6. This is the cereal weight problem. 1.5 cups of cereal weighs 2 pounds, so how much does 1 cup of cereal weigh? And you are asked to use a double number line in this problem. So here I have lined up my double number line so that my top line represents cereal, my second line represents weight. Check your double number line right now, make sure you've done that. I also always reinforce with my students that I want them to start with 0, 0. So if there's 0, a 0 amount of cereal, it's going to have a weight of 0. And I just think that's an important like grounding point so that they don't get lost in creating their intervals. It gives them a place to kind of work from. And so what we know is that 1.5, this is our given information, 1.5, is it cups of cereal? I can't remember, weighs 2 pounds. 1.5 cups, yes, 1.5 cups of cereal weighs 2 pounds. That is some heavy cereal, holy moly. 1.5 cups of cereal weighs 2 pounds. And so what we've done here to figure out how much does 1 cup of cereal weigh, well, first I divided my 2 by 3, right? 2 divided by 3 to get 2/3. I want this interval to be at 2/3. So then I can divide this also by 3. 1.5 divided by 3 is 1/2, because 1.5, remember, is 3/2, and 3/2 divided by 3 is just 1/2. So I know that 1/2 goes with 2/3. So in other words, 1/2 of a cup of cereal weighs 2/3 of a pound. Now I can just scale it up this direction. 2/3 doubled, or 2/3 times 2 is 4/3, and 1/2 times 2 is 1. And there's my answer. All right, number 8. Is this the paint one, I believe? Yep, it took 1 1/3 cans of paint to paint 2/5 of a room. And at that rate, how many cans of paint will it take to paint the whole room? Oofda, this is a confusing one, right? So we made a double number line here. So I have 1 can of paint will paint 3/10 of a room, and it would take 10/3 or 3.5 cans of paint to paint an entire one room. And so you can see what I did here is I have my double number line.